Hello everybody, so this is a little bit of a different setting than my usual videos. I had some people, ask if I could do a sort of, story time, stories about being trans in high school, that sort of thing. So I thought I would give that a try, and if people are into it, then I'll keep doing it. So, when thinking about being trans in high school, the first thing that I think of is when I got my first binder and the first time I wore it to school. So, at this point in time, I was like a freshman in high school. I was not out to my mom. I was not out to any of my family. I was not out to any of my friends except for like two, one of which was another trans guy, the first other trans guy I'd ever met in my entire life. When I learned about binders, at that point I had been binding in my room with like ace bandages. Never do that. Never, ever, ever use ace bandages to bind. But me as a dumb little baby tran, I didn't know that like actual binders were a thing. Even if I did know, I wouldn't have had a way to get them because I wasn't out to my mom. There's no way she would have bought me one. So what I ended up doing is this guy, he had been out to his family for a while at that point. Had been binding for a couple of years at that point. His mom didn't care what he bought. His mom wasn't supportive, but she just didn't care. So he told me, if you want to give me the money, then I can order this for you and I can bring it to you at school so your mom doesn't know. And I jumped on it. So my mom would give me a couple of dollars every day as lunch money, but I never ate lunch at school because like the lines and the cafeteria and all of that stuff gave me a lot of anxiety, so I just didn't eat at school. So I would just save my money up. And I saved my couple of dollars every day for like a month and a half, until I had enough money that I could give to my friend so he could get me a binder. And I remember going online. At that time, the only brand that I knew about, and I don't even know if there are really other brands that were big at this point, but the only brand I knew about was Underworks. I wanted one that was like tank top style, but my dumb little baby self didn't realize that at that point in time, the ones that they had were like full front compression and not just like it compresses your chest, but not like your stomach. No, it was all the way down. Didn't know that, so I got one of those, like size small. It was white. And I remember like giving him the money at school and being so excited, and it felt like it took forever for me to get it. It was only probably like a week, but it felt like forever. It was the longest week of my life. So he has it sent to his house. When he gets it in the mail, he brings it to school. I remember sitting in my biology class, and he just walks in. He's not even in that class. He just walks in. He's like, "Here you go, man." And I like shove it in my backpack, and I'm so excited, but I'm like really nervous to have it because it feels like something that I shouldn't have. But I'm super, super excited about it. Can't wait to go home, try it on. So I make it through the rest of the school day, go home, go up to my room. I try it on, and like just picture like a montage of like baby me trying on every single shirt that I own with this binder and just looking in the mirror and crying for like a solid 2 hours. Like that was the first time in my life that I'd ever experienced gender euphoria, and it's that experience that made me commit to telling my mom. Not too long after that, maybe within like 6 months after that, I came out to my mom. And I had this binder for a few weeks before I had enough courage to actually wear it to school. And I have a pretty small chest, so people probably really wouldn't have noticed the difference. I was really bad for like hunching over, so you like couldn't see anything. Still really bad for that, but it's a little bit better now. Hopefully with like top surgery, like I'll just be like all the time. But so I finally worked up the courage to wear it to school. Wore it to school. I was so happy. I was so proud. All I wanted to do was like tell people about it. Like, you know when something like really good happens, you feel really good about yourself, you want people to notice, you want to tell people, and I couldn't do that because like the only person that knew that I had this binder was the guy that had, bought it for me. And I remember, I'm pretty sure we were in the cafeteria when this happened. I like raised my arms up or like bent over or something so my shirt rolled up, and it was like a full length binder, so I had it tucked into my pants. And one of my friends sees it, and they're like, "What is that?" I'm trying to like play it cool. I'm super nervous. I'm like, what do you mean? What is that? What are you talking about? And they're just like, "Are you wearing Spanx?" And so I'm like super embarrassed, and like I'm like, no, why would you think that? I don't even know what Spanx are. It's just a athletic tank top, an athletic undershirt that I'm wearing because I want to. But I was so embarrassed about it, and I think part of the reason I was embarrassed about it, because I know they would have been super supportive, and when I did come out to them, they were super supportive. But I think the reason I was so embarrassed is because at that point in time, like, I had a binder, I was wearing it, but I had not started wearing men's underwear yet. And for some reason, like, in my mind, like, it was just a huge thing to be embarrassed about that I wasn't wearing men's underwear yet. But I was super embarrassed. Thankfully, they let it go. I didn't wear my binder to school for, like, months after that because I was so afraid and ashamed to. Like, I was, like, wearing it at home in my room by myself and stuff, but I wasn't wearing it out. At one point, I, like, cut it so that it, like, was, like, right here and not all the way down, and I would wear it like that, and that was a little bit more comfortable. But I still wasn't really wearing it to school anymore, even though I really, really, really wanted to. I felt a lot better about myself when I was wearing it. And I don't think I wore that particular binder to school more than just a couple of times after that, because like I was so afraid of someone finding out. Eventually I got a better binder. I got one of the GC2B binders, like one of the mid-length ones. It was gray. It was the second binder I ever owned, and I had it up until maybe 6 months ago. And keep in mind, I just graduated from college, so I had it for a while, worn it for a while, and it was still in really good shape. Ended up donating it. But I didn't wear the Underworks binder. I don't know why. I don't know what it was about that Underworks binder. Maybe it was just that bad experience that I had the first time I wore it to school. It didn't make me want to wear it. But when I got the GC2B binder, I wore it like every single day for like 3 years in high school, and then like every single day for like a year in college before I got another binder. But yeah, that is the story about how little baby me got his first binder and the first time I wore it to school.